What's poppin', y'all? Happy Saturday. Tuning in on an afternoon call this week. Grateful and thankful. Shout out Miss Amani for being in tune, committed, and consistent. We are now in our fourth book of the year, if not fifth. I don't remember. I think it's fourth, but it's Instinct by Teenage Apes. And I'm excited because this kind of feeds into and is taken off from everything that we've read up to this point. And man, just a few pages alone, like to start off the book, I was like, quit playing. We were on the money when it came to like actually laying out the books for the year. So I know you're
Yeah.
at lunch, girl, but I'm gonna let you share first.
Instinctual.
Say it again.
Instinctual. We were instinctual.
Instinctual, you might say, for sure. But that being said, we're covering chapters 1, 2, and 3. And then a little side note, I put all of the chapters for the rest of the book um in the website for TGF. And then I'll also be throwing the promo in the telegrams the day prior. But overall, one thing I want to make you aware of is next week I'm serving a conference at church, and it's literally from 8 a.m. till middle of the day. So we're gonna not meet next week.
That's
Which
okay.
the week after though is a pretty thick read. There's 21 chapters in this thing. So to try to make it as small as possible, each it might seem like a lot because there'll be like 3 or 4 chapters each week, but
Uh-huh.
majority of the chapters are like 10 or 12 pages long. They're not really that long. So I know you listen to them, but just to let you know, if you see the like, damn, Marcus, why are there 5 chapters for this week? It's like majority of the time I kept it between 30 to 40 pages of reading or
Okay.
listening for each one. So this week is 1 through 3, and then after next week we'll come back and then we'll get done with this book by July the 4th. So book of June is Instinct. I appreciate
Gotcha.
this love. You got this, girl. Go ahead. I'm gonna mute myself so I can listen.
Okay. So my take is going to be relatively short. For this week, there are some things that I caught in the book, but I think the first three chapters are a little bit more repetitious. So I'm thinking like maybe later in the book they'll start picking up on more deeper concepts and stuff. But I did see that as I was listening, it's actually just really on brand for everything that we've been learning, of course, and trusting your instincts of being able to. He says in I believe it was chapter 2 when he talks about that when you don't go against, like when you're not in your purpose and you're not following it, you are trapped, like you begin to feel like you're in your own cage. And that is when you're basically going against, which is, I'm telling you, these are the themes of the year, like trusting yourself, trusting your instincts, your gut, your being an integritous in following these your purpose in order to not be in a personal hell, be caged. Really important. Really important to follow this, or else, like I said, you will become trapped, which is really unfortunate. Then he starts something else that really stuck out to me was him saying like how he like certain analogies, yeah, certain analogies that he was using when it came to the imagery, the imagery in your imagination, like how profound it can be to be a child still in your. I'm trying to think of the word, but like in that state of childlike wonder and the innocence before, life can make you a little jaded, and
What's
you got to
crazy
get
is
out of that.
we covered that on the Bible study yesterday is
Oh
childlike faith
wow.
and joy. Like so you're right on the
Yeah,
money. I really think that's insane.
yeah. And there's the thing with this book, and he's basically comparing his childhood to the instinctual natural things that we tend to do as humans, as bees, as ants, and things like that. You already have this instinctual nudge from the world, from the universe, from God to be able to be like, hey, this is what I want to do. And he talks about ignoring that. But as he was talking about him being a child was like him playing with his friends and having turning a stick and a rock into a baseball and a baseball bat and turning a swarm? Huh. A swarm of ants? Is that what they're called? Do they swarm? Anyways, a swarm of ants being little soldiers. And this is like that active imagination that is actually really powerful that I seen time and time again adults lose. So everybody watching the recording, don't lose your inner child. Your inner child should be alive and well. Keep it because that's little did we know as children, all of the things that made us so happy as children would make us happy as adults. And if you stop doing a lot of things that made you happy as a kid, you could be misaligned. You feel me? Trust your child. Trust your inner child because your inner child will tell you the truth, and that's when it's easier depending on your situation to be happier, or maybe not necessarily happier, but instinctively follow what your heart wants to do. So I do appreciate that of this book. So far, not gonna lie, I actually thought he would talk more, have spiritual references in there. So I'm still waiting for that. It is a little repetitious for these first three chapters. They kind of blend together. So I'm hoping that this book will turn around, Mr. TD, Mr. J. Um, but other than that, so far, yeah, just like what we've been learning all year, trusting yourself, going for it, living in your purpose rather than suffering. Because suffering comes from a person who's lost and doesn't have any idea of how they want to keep going. And as a lot of us know, being a human on earth in real time is not always easy. It comes with a lot of surprises, a lot of hurt, a lot of anguish and growing pains. And then it also comes with like a lot of beauty and just really good feelings. So I appreciate that so far. And that is my take for the week. Happy Saturday, y'all.
Boom. I appreciate you. I honestly thought you were going to touch a little more on the maternal instinct just because you'd be in
The
motion.
maternal instinct.
Yeah, yeah. It was at the end of chapter 3.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh,
Because
yeah.
essentially, one, you're a strong advocate for women, period. So I thought like you could relate because at the end of the day, like as a woman, you do have maternal instincts that are in alignment where like your desire to nurture, to have a safe space of comfort, to care is more in tune than men biologically and physiologically. Um, Hence the difference between testosterone and estrogen. It's like it's a biological fundamental difference between the sexes. But
Oh
when he
no,
talked about
I like when men talk about maternal instinct. I like when they're in touch. You take it away. You go for
yeah,
it.
no, no, he goes, my instinct became the impetus for a vision, for the power of imagining its full potential, for the tactful steps needed to create a plan of fulfillment. And I feel like over the years, the more that you put this aspect of utilizing and tapping into your instincts, um, I've seen that to be true. Like it grows your vision. That also allows you to power your imagination. And I agree with you 120,000%. Having that childlike joy and that frame of mind allows you to focus in on what kids do, right? They find the curiosity and everything. They imagine. You got imaginary friends playing. I remember I used to play chef and like in the kitchen, you know what I'm saying, and just have the aspect of life. But uh, anyways, he says that I remain grateful to this day that I was given that backyard wilderness to teach me to dream of what could be without getting lost in what is. And how great of a reminder God has been for me in this, because I've been a very practical person of just accepting what is rather than what I want it to be. But I also understand that there's a vision, like I talked about earlier today, of the things that are unseen that have to be acted upon in order to bring it to the scene. And that requires gratitude and a sense of cyclical imagination so that innovation can start to take its work. And essentially what he was saying is, obviously as a man, we don't have the maternal instinct, but for him, the innovation playfully in imagination acted like the mother to his own creative instinct. And that's something that was a different point of view when he was talking about instinct in action. Anyways, I wanted to touch on that because um, essentially he was saying that when you pair instinct with imagination, it becomes apparent for your creative, not a parent like APP, but a space parent, a parent for our creative visions. They allow us to see the opportunities where others see only limitations. And it was like bars. That's bars because um it's a combination of using practical things and taking things from the spiritual and imagination no realm and putting it into place. It's how we got planes, right? It's how we got the way that you and I are speaking on Zoom right now. It is a genuine way of how I've been able to run an entire business from home. Just allowing yourself to be in this dynamic. Shout out the 7 spiritual laws of success. Oh, thank you so much. I appreciate you. I totally forgot about it. Family copy. But I was like, I felt like something was off. I was like, dude, I need to get something to do. All right, shout out. That's fire and desire. All right, boom. But essentially, I really liked how he put that because I've seen it play out in my life where most people give up based on the limitations they see. And it reminded me of like crazy faith and 7 spiritual laws of success, where you have to live in this dynamic, right? Where you can't allow the facts you see to erode the faith that you need. You have to also be willing to accept what it is that God is showing you while also believing in what it is that He is showing you that you can't see in the physical. And when you operate in this sense, I've learned that you're separated from the rest of the world and you literally do stick out like a sore thumb. And it should inspire a lot of people, but it usually offends what I've learned. But it's okay.
It usually pushes a lot of people away as well because it's like if
Yeah.
you're not in that place and someone else is, like your vibrations can't catch up and they tend to like either dismiss themselves or
Yeah.
just like typically they dismiss themselves if you don't have to yourself, you know?
Yeah, it's frequency, like you said, it's definitely frequency. Like and I really love the technicality of frequency because every time you listen or you hear things, it's actual sound waves hitting your eardrum, and that can either soothe your inner peace or disturb it. So the way that you speak, the way that you listen, the conversations you have, the situations you place yourself in, it's either feeding you or it's destroying you. I really do believe that, and I understand it now more. Anyways, one thing that I really liked, he says that our instincts at the beginning of the book, it says instincts can provide the combination we need to align our unique variables with our callings and release the treasure within us. And he did bring up some spirituality in the beginning, and he said, never settle for less than God's best for your life. God has given us deeper instincts to be attracted to those things that fit a higher and better purpose. And I fully believe that, right? At the end of yourself is where He gets to step in. And when you recognize that it's not about you, it's about how you can impact the environment and influence and help and serve the people around you, that's where real change occurs, right? Any massive movement that has occurred that has created generational impact and improvement or growth or change in the world has required you to go deeper and get into higher and better purposes, right? If you never ask the question, what is my purpose? You never seek to find out, what you're good at, what we're good for, and the ultimate fulfillment of our purposeful potential, then you'll never do anything except just exist. It's literally just living, like, right? You either live your life or you simply just exist. And reading these three chapters reminded me of the saying that a mentor taught me. And it essentially was saying, right, the wealthiest place on the planet is not Dubai, it's not Abu Dhabi, it's not Miami or New York. It's the graveyard. It's the graveyard because
I did not expect you to say that. I swear, I thought you were gonna say it's in our own bodies, it's in our temple. Nope, you said the grave, bruh.
all the visions, all the all the callings and the purposes that were placed. Because so scripturally it tells us that we all have gifts and talents given to us by the Spirit. We're called to use them to serve one another, right? And when you tap into this calling through your purpose and your mission, the current assignment that you have in your season, you're usually of service to others. For example, right? I look forward to when you fully walk in your assignment of the calling that you believe has been placed on your life in terms of healing and providing like that holistic resort experience for people, because that is going to serve other people in the process. Now, imagine if you've never taken steps towards getting that done. All it stays is imagination in your brain. Right, those thoughts come from somewhere. The situations and the things that you want to do come from somewhere. I believe they come from the Lord. And in that regard, you have the free will to decide whether or not you act upon it or you allow that to be just an idea. Because at the end of the day, potential is a fancy word that means you ain't done shit. Excuse my language, but it's real life. Like everybody has potential. But it's whether or not you act upon the instinct to, as he said, pair that with the imagination, and then that allows for the creativity to unfold, where you actually use your hands, use your feet, use your words to establish, formulate, and do things that you're called to do in alignment with your purpose to serve people and bring it to fruition in the world. Hence how we have advancement in society and why humans were given the ability to think, process, and create in a way that normal animals do not. Like we're set apart for a reason, right? And again, I think it's because we're made in God's image. But going back to the alignment thing that I was telling you and why it made me think of what that mentor told me is because on every tombstone in the grave, you have two dates, right? You have the date that you were born, and then you have the date at which you passed. But the most important aspect of that tombstone is not either date; it's the hyphen in between. What did you do with the time that you had? And how did you impact those around you? And unfortunately, most of the people don't do anything. And I've said this at unlimited trainings before, but like with all my being, I urge people to not be most people. Right? Most people, I urge people to not be most people. I like most individuals do not think about what they're thinking about. Most individuals settle for less than what they're actually able to do. Most people don't operate in integrity. And there was a specific line, and it made me think of integrity, right? We just finished that book. I think it was in chapter 3.
You have the book right there?
No, no, no. I have the book at home, but I'm saying like I have this book in front of me, but there was a specific line that he wrote, and it literally made me think of uh, of integrity. I have it highlighted. Sec. He said the answers you seek are already inside you. Um, find the thing we are created to do, the people we were meant to affect, and the power that comes from alignment with purpose. Right. And I told you that book we just finished reading the way of integrity added another layer of definition of what I believed integrity to be, which is not just having your words match your deeds, doing what you're supposed to do, doing the right thing, whether or not people are seeing, but it's also living in unity with alignment. Um, and I I really love that it was just a reminder that when you find the things you're created to do, first have to ask the question and you'll find out and you'll be curious enough to go and trial and error and see. And then you'll meet people along the way and you'll understand how you communicate, how you interact, and what type of value you can provide. And all of that power comes from you aligning your integrity and who you're supposed to become into what it is you're doing, period, point blank. He said, like towards the top of that, he brought up Proverbs chapter 4:23. Out of the heart flows the issues of life, right? But it also can flow the abundance. Heart can't read, it can't draw, and it surely can't drive. But if we listen to the drumbeat, and we have the courage to be moved by its wisdom, then we will find our answer. We could spend the rest of our lives in a rhythm so in sync that the melodious sounds we make transform all areas of our life into an integrated, harmonic symphony of satisfaction. As we grow forward and go forward, I love that. Our master creator may be wooing you instinctively into a place where your intellect can flourish and your heart can rest.
Yeah, sure.
Like, bro, that brought about a crazy level of conviction and confirmation for me. Remember, I was telling you, I woke up the following day after a very difficult conversation I had with somebody this past week. And the first thing that I felt God tell me to do was move, go. And like deep down, I've learned that the instinct is listening to not only what your heart is saying, but also to listen to what the spirit is saying. And
Every time.
bro, and now I'm in a place where both my intellect and can flourish and my heart can rest. Like I can be in peace and I can do what it is I'm supposed to be doing in a more
And
efficient
you got
way
a coffee.
because my
And you got a
environment,
coffee. Because you was just about to go get a coffee, but you got a coffee. It came to you.
yeah, it really did. It really did. And it's wild, bro, because I don't think people understand that like true alignment is meant to have all aspects of your life really come into play, not as separate parts of your life, but in its totality. Like it's not meant to be this, then this, then this. It's supposed to be all at once. You can be extremely grateful and feel a sense of grief, right? You can be extremely excited and still be worried. But the main focal point is like where's your focus and how are you utilizing your time and where you've been to get to where you're going? Very point. So yeah, I love that. That was on page 8.
Yeah.
Bro, if you ain't got can I show you look how large the words are. So you should just get the book. The words are pretty large.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe it's the
It's a text.
audio. Because sometimes some of the audios don't be like fun. But I'll check it. That's why I said I'm gonna give it a chance. I'm gonna give it a chance. It is a little repetitive, but we're gonna see. But
Hey,
to be
look,
fair, I do have a little bit of bias because I don't. Never mind. Never mind.
Yeah, that's like
it's
Ain't even
okay.
no person.
There's some negative things about TD Jakes. I do know, however, that he does have some wisdom and he has impacted people for the kingdom. So I'll read unbiasedly,
Yeah.
regardless of my opinions are, and I could still learn something. I also know that repetition is the father of all learning, and some people don't know as much as we know as we read into this thing. So they've got to, if they don't understand or get it the first few times, that thing looks good, by the way, girl. Sheesh.
What'd you say?
oh.
I said that thing look good, girl. I'm not gonna lie to you. Sheesh.
Literally.
Oh, dude, I love that place so much. I take myself on solo dates over there. I don't even give a damn. I'll
That
go
is so
eat.
funny. This is my first time here.
Dude, thebomb.com. I'm not
Yeah,
lying
I
to you.
usually don't even eat pho. I'm a ramen girl, but this is actually really
I'm
good.
I'm a pho. I'm a pho guy. I'm not gonna lie to you. I
You
really
would
look
be.
forward to
You would
I'm
be,
looking forward to whenever I spend some time.
Looking forward to.
in
Okay.
Asia. Okay, so a few more things, and then no, I'll end it out. But he says on page 25, God made us to reflect his creativity, resourcefulness, and imagination. He wants us to see beyond the literal, above the bottom line, and beneath the surface of appearances. Like what is being shown to you, go deeper. What you're experiencing, ask better questions. What you're hearing, gain a deeper understanding, right? What is first being shown is not as it appears, even though sometimes it does. But I love that aspect of it. Majority of the time, as human beings, we process the instinct for survival, just like any other living creature, but we have some instincts for purpose, fulfillment, and dominion. And that's true. This is like literally proven in the book of Genesis. But it's also why, even if, like, let's be real, Imani, if you and I wanted to quit, we can't even quit because we have this innate drive within us. We're like, yo, there's no way I've gone too far and you've jumped over. Like, you already jumped. You're there. You're there and you know how to pull the parachute. You're just not at the altitude to pull the parachute where you're going to land exactly where you need to be.
That's so funny because in my head I did a swimming analogy. I'm like, yeah, I already done jumped off the cliff and now I'm backstroking in the lake. Like
You no longer can see the shore, right? You're in the middle of it. And
but I'm
you have
coasting. I'm
two.
still coasting.
Yeah, yeah. A lot of people unfortunately just give up there or they try to swim back and then they get lost in the sauce.
Yeah,
But
it is hard.
when it comes,
I will say
yeah.
though that the most uncomfortable I have recently been the most uncomfortable I've ever felt in my life just because of transitions and change going from an old version to my of myself to a newer version. And it's uncomfortable, it's weird, it's sometimes it's really hard because there's so many things happening. You really can't know for sure what's supposed to be what and what's just happening. And honestly, it's if it wasn't for me like being faithful and just kind of like moving in that, I would have not like I feel like I would have definitely gave up because it is hard when you're leaving an old life behind and everything you know
Yeah.
and like stepping into your purpose. But like we've been talking about, just like staying in faith and knowing that you know you can't see the results, but the results are there already and they're coming to you. And you just have to stay faithful, be driven in your purpose and move in that alignment and everything will pan out.
Amen. And I really do feel like the more that you operate in that comfortability, it's very, sometimes painful, and excruciating to experience. But what I've seen is whenever you do it again, you have so much more confidence and certainty that you've been through something like this or you've gone through X, Y, and Z, and you can go through what is currently in front of you. Like, I'm not gonna lie, dude, me moving recently, bro, I was sick. I was sick, like feeling like crap. And bro, when I say I had I was like on a time crunch, less than 12 hours to get all my stuff, get on over there, and be in Austin by 7 p.m. Ain't no way. And when I say like I did not have the strength, but all I did the entire time was talk with God and breathe and regulate my emotions and focus on the task at hand, still taking calls with clients, still reading, still processing my work, still being intentional about my day-to-days that feed my cup. I was literally dumbfounded by Monday, looking and sitting at my desk in the new spot, still doing the routine. And I'm like, yo, praise be to God, because like I did not have the strength. I leaned upon him and he gave me the strength through it. And I feel like I've only been able to do that because, bro, this ain't the first time I've had to get up on out of somewhere, even though it was not fully planned. And whenever he told me move, I moved. You know what I'm saying? So, anyways, I share that to let you know, like, yo, when it comes down to how we're going about this aspect, this is what he says. He goes, trailblazing people, meaning, you know what a trailblazer is, right?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. For somebody who it might be catching
Somebody
recording,
blazes the trail. Come on, Oregon Trail.
yeah, but You're funny, dude. Okay, yeah, someone blazing the trail. Okay, but it means being the first to do or discover something, essentially creating a new path or method for others to follow. It describes an action that is pioneering, highly innovative, and original. Yes, you're a trailblazer, Imani, as am I. A lot of people in our family have never done nor ever attempted to do what it is we're currently doing and are in the process of formulating and creating. And this is why I confirm what it is he wrote here. He said, trailblazing people move by instinct because there is nothing outward that suggests that what they see inwardly is possible. And like you said, it's inwardly. No, you're either looking at things outwardly or inwardly. And I don't know how many books, bro, we've read where it talks about this concept. Like
Yeah, I know. I'm
the
telling you,
the
these are things
the,
to hear.
Bi-
It's
the Bible alone specifically lets us know that he who lives within us is far greater than anything that lives with outside of us. So if we understand that it does come from an inward positioning and a belief, you can see what's missing in plain sight, and you can discover how to combine that intellect with your instincts. So you can find a new way of seeing what it is that's
Wait,
in
can
front
we
of
have
you.
post? Does everybody want to go computer? Yeah. Sorry,
But
y'all.
yeah, so it's okay. People, yeah, so it's combining instincts with intellect to discover a new way of seeing what's missing. Right? We look at the problem and we don't see what it's just being shown to other people. We dive deeper. And I think because of that, we have to rely upon, he talks about it as instinct. I just really view it as a spirit. And the more in tune that you get within it, the more instinctual you can operate on because you don't have to be motivated the way that most people are motivated or positioned when most people are positioned.
Yeah.
Okay, last thing.
I like your perspective on it, and I'm gonna look at it from a marketing perspective the next time I read it.
From a marketing perspective.
Yeah, because I think I'm coming from a more judgmental perspective because I don't do the mega church people. There's just so many fundamentally things wrong with it in my eyes. But I like how you're coming at it. You're coming at it in a non-biased way, and I think I'm being a little more biased. So next week, I'm really looking inward.
Hey, look,
Oh,
girl, I really do appreciate your genuine transparency in that because I'm not gonna lie, I knew that without you saying that. And it's okay. But here's my thing, like the way I view my life is I am not one to judge at all. And I know that all human beings are faulty and that regardless, whether good or bad, we can learn from everybody. We can truly. And if there's a reason for it, then there's a reason to it. And what's crazy is like, dude, Mikhail's the one that picked this book. I don't even want to read this book, but
I didn't want
I'm
to read
here.
this book at all. I still don't want to read it.
But I think you should take it from a perspective of what might be trying to be shown to you in this
Yeah,
period in time, rather than what he is saying. Because I think
yeah,
there's
you're
going
right.
to be certain things that
He
you can
probably
get
didn't even write the
from it.
book anyway.
Yeah, you never know. Yeah,
And he
you're
didn't. I
like,
know he didn't write the book. I know he didn't.
I know
He
you
didn't write.
seen, I know
This
you
man had
seen
a
the
ghostwriter.
I know you seen the cover. You were disgusted.
I'm disgusted, bro.
Dude, and I was looking for
Fat
like
ass
other
neck.
cover. I was looking for other covers where like his picture wasn't on there. I'm like, bro, why you put yourself on the book?
With that
But it's okay.
fucking the neck roll kills me.
So look, this is a part I wanted to touch on because he brings up John C. Maxwell, who is a man that I do respect heavily and somebody that I've learned a lot from. He says, when we look at individuals, it's not enough to simply applaud successes. We must examine their creative propensity. You know what that means? Propensity. Propensity. I don't, I looked it up. Hold on, their creative propensity. Propensity. It's inclination or natural tendency to behave in a particular way. So their creative inclination or natural tendency to behave in a particular way, through which they created something unique, then successfully marketed the fruits of their labors. In other words, it's not enough to know what people did. if you can't learn
Yeah.
why they did it like they did it. That's the
Yeah.
So it's not enough to know. I tell people this all the time, right? It's not what you do, it's who you do it with. And it's not what you're doing, it's what's the intention behind it. Why is this being done in the way that it's being carried out? Because there's always a reason why. John
Yeah.
Maxwell says that those who know how to do a thing will always have a job, but those who understand why they did it will always be their own bosses. I was like, dude, John C. Maxwell, shout out to the reference because it's real life. Like you've got to understand not just what has being done, but why it was being done that way. So, anyways, I wanted to touch on that because if you understand that, it requires you to look deeper on why you do the things that you do. All right, there's a reason.
Yeah.
Kind of like what you did just now. Like it was a real life example. You're like, why did I have a perspective on the book?
No, I know why. I know
Yeah.
exactly why I had the
Yeah, I know, but as
perspective,
you're
it's like
diving
not.
deep, but you're diving deeper is what I'm saying.
Yeah, exactly.
And one thing I did enjoy was that he said the real catalyst of creative instincts is about peeking into the windows of your own heart and soul. Get out of the, it was just a reminder, right? Get out of the window and look in the mirror. You've got to illuminate what it is that is inwardly so that you can excel outwardly. And then the last thing I had here, he talks about our instincts evolving. And I like this too, because he said whether you recognize those glimpses of instinct or not, it's there. On the other hand, our instincts are not necessarily accurate all the time. And then he writes, so how do you become more aware of your unique, naturally developed instincts? Obviously, this is where our relationship with instinct gets tricky. And it talks about at the end of the day, you have to think about it. There are some things you just know, and there are some things that you don't. So the inner knowing is instinctive. It is natural as the ability to sense if you found the thing you were born to do. And this is something that my pastors have preached on, so I agreed to what he was saying. He said our creator designed everything he made to have purpose. Yet most of us live our lives wondering what our purpose is. Without understanding the guidance that our innate God-given instincts provide us, we simply adjust to the urgency of circumstances, all the while sensing deep within that we are created for so much more. Yet the uncertainty of fear of pursuing this inner sense keeps us contained in the contrived cage of the ordinary. Is what we talk about. Simply put, we've never learned to rely on our instincts because instead of being responsive, we're always reactive. That's not what he wrote, but that's what I wrote on the side. Like respond, don't react, right? You have to be able to receive what is being shown to you in a non-biased perspective. And then and only then you can actively move that within the process of acting in the way that it was intended versus you trying to do it on your own. Anyways, I thought it was a good first few chapters. It was a quick one. It wasn't like a really thick read either. And overall, I'm excited to see how the concepts and the things that are being talked about point towards how we can move more instinctively throughout our process, especially as we're faith driven and we're aiming to really make an impact on people, especially in the face of adversity, in the face of uncertainty. So I appreciate you. Next week. Yes, sir. Chapters are okay.
Just like 30 minutes. It was cool regardless. Yeah, you definitely want that and like experience it. Yeah, you're right.
Oh, it's not next week. We'll be back on June the 6th. But chapter 4, 5, 6, and 7. It's about 40 pages. So I was thinking about like 20 pages a week, 4, 5, 6, and 7. And then the date on that is June the 6th.
Okay.
I would say we could still meet on Saturday, but like literally I won't be free until the evening. So I just figured take the week and then we'll come back. Ain't no one really happening that otherwise. So and then I'll be traveling. I'll actually be in Minnesota on June the 6th. So maybe Mikhail will join.
That'd be cool. That'd be great.
I will force him.
Okay.
I'm like, I'm here, player. But I appreciate you taking some of your time at lunch. Tell your people I said thanks for letting me steal you.
I will. All right. Well, thanks for the
Alrighty.
book club. Happy Saturday, all on the recording. Whoop, whoop, whoop. All right. Bye. Bye, Sir Marcus. Have a wonderful Saturday.
Have a beautiful day, love. Enjoy the rest of your food there.
Thank you. Yeah, this place is. Yeah, anyway.
Enjoy it, enjoy it. I'll talk to you later, my son.
All right, bye.
Peace.